babes, welcome back to the Boss Babes Guide. I'm Sim.
And I'm Whit.
Today we are talking about your elevator pitch.
Girl, put it together in a pretty package, all riding up. So I think this is kind of important, and I think it's hard for women to narrow down what they do. I think it's natural for us to want to elaborate and think about all the things that we do, and especially if someone's asking us like what's the most important thing, and we always try and change it for the context and for the scenario. But I don't necessarily think that that's the way we should look at things. I think you have to think about your impact in your role and what sort of value you're providing. So Simi and I, we always talk about sort of impact and how we're affecting others and what we're doing, and it's important to us that we have jobs that sort of give back. And so that's why I think showing the value of what you do in your elevator speech is so important.
I think it's like what Whit was saying, you have to know the value of what you do, and I think as women we undervalue ourselves, and just as a society in general I think we devalue women and like jobs typically associated with women and skills typically associated with women, and even just undervaluing the caregiver role, which I think many women are drawn to caregiver roles of sorts, even if it's not maybe in like the traditional sense. And I just think that those skills are undervalued, and then we feel weird valuing them.
Yeah.
And we're not really taught to kind of like be bold in our value.
Right.
And I hope that that's something that newer generations of women will become more comfortable with and will become more confident with. But I do think it starts with us, and I think it starts with like looking at yourself, looking at your passion, looking at the work that you do, and really getting clear on what that value is, honing in on it, and not being afraid to share it with other people.
Absolutely. Don't be modest or embarrassed. I mean, if people are asking you what you do, own that. Do that with pride.
Totally.
And something that I read the other day said that you have 8 seconds. Like when you're having a conversation like this, you have 8 seconds before the adult attention span like drifts off into whatever it does. So I mean, you have to be super quick and impactful, and that's hard for me because I'm super long-winded. But I know, like, I have worked on this, like, truly worked on how I can really get to the heart of what I do. So when people meet me and they ask me what I do, instead of trying to say, like, oh, well, I run a blog and I fundraise and I do X, Y, Z, I just stick with the one thing that I do most of the time, which is my full-time job. And so I say, I help connect donors to the causes that they are most passionate about. And if they have questions about what I do and where specifically I fundraise and where specifically I work, then of course you'll delve into that. But that's the heart of the matter, truly, is that, this is the impact that I provide. This is what I'm doing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I am doing this like really awesome program called Holistic MBA, and they sort of help you to set up in one line, like what it is that you do. And I just found that to be so helpful. So it's like basically, job title in a really, really tiny little nutshell, like what you do, and then like what makes it different maybe than someone else doing that.
Yeah.
So I came up with mine, and it was, I'm Simi Bowditch, a corporate attorney turned holistic health coach, helping women embrace their healthiest weight so they can feel happy, sexy, and free without diets and deprivation.
Look at you, girl.
So, but I mean, that took like I spent
it's so hard to get to that
days
point.
like making that, because I wanted it to come across as like, okay, this is like really what I do, but also you don't want to go on for forever, and it is hard because I'm a lot more than that, and I do a lot more than that, and so are you, and so are you.
Of course, and we know that. But truly, when it gets down to it, like, what is that high level, like super, super high level, brief snapshot of what you provide, the value that you provide to the world?
Totally.
And so, yeah, I think the key takeaways are obviously be succinct and be really mindful of the fact that you have a short period of time to capture people's attention. To be super confident about what you're doing and not be embarrassed or feel like you're bragging whenever someone asks you.
Put a big star next to that.
Like a super exclamation point and like clown sticker. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Totally.
And don't worry about if you sound braggy. They ask you what you do, and you should own that.
Guess what? Guys never worry about if they sound braggy.
They sure don't.
Just let's leave it with that.
Get your testosterone up in there and show them what an awesome value you provide.
Right.
So put together your elevator pitches and then videotape them and then tag us with Boss Babes.
Oh my gosh, we would love to see that so much.
All right, babes.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.